Hello and thanks again for joining us. It's Simon here from AVAGO-INK Designs. I'm so glad you could join me today. It is a cold one out there today though, isn't it? I'm so glad I can do this, especially with everything going on with the lockdowns and the COVID restrictions, but I'm literally in that back door and straight out, and I'll talk to Tony later. But thank you anyway for joining us. I can see lots of you are already online. So first thing to say as well, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, just like and subscribe. And then that will mean that you get any notifications when we have got any upcoming shows or any other news we want to share with you. And I also, let's start off this show with announcing the winner from last week. So last week we raffled off this one, and the winner for the prize is Bridget Head. So if Bridget's on today, just drop me a message on the AVAGO-INK page and we'll get that over to you. But like I say, you're going to get this lovely stamp set, and that will include all those images there that I've made a lot of the cards with, and it'll also have the dies which are enclosed as well. So just turn that on, you can see that. So a lovely prize for you. So well done to Bridget, everybody. So I'm just going to put that to save so we don't lose Bridget's prize. So yeah, so that's lovely. As we're going along, if you've got any questions, please feel to ask me those. And what we're going to do is we're just going to run some inspiration for you in a second while I set up for my first clip. And then I've also got some news to tell you about a Facebook Live that will be happening Tuesday. So I'll remind you about that at the end of the show. But other than that, let's run some inspiration while I get set up for the next one. Sorry about that, we've got some gremlins in the works. So this is the first card we're going to make today, and the thing for today's cards is using your scraps up. So if I just stand up there, you can see that. So this is a really easy card that we're going to make, really bright, and all this is going to be doing is using your scraps of paper and card. So as you can see, it gives a really dramatic look. Easy to do, and I'm sure you can do this one, so let's have a go. Let's pop that to one side. The first thing you're going to do is just get a blank card. I think I've used an 8x8 for this one, just so it's a nice big card to show you. And I've got some scraps of card, all different colours. Got some blues, greens, and some red. So we're going to start off with the red one. And what we're going to do is we're going to take them in order of the depth of colour. So I want to go darker to lighter, as if it's going to be a sunrise. So I'm going to start off with this deep red. I'm not going to be too careful. I'm going to put some glue onto the card. Just enough to grab. And then we're going to start off that first layer there, straight up to the top end of your card. Give that a nice push to make it so it's secure. Yeah, it is a cheerful card, isn't it, Tracy? It's just, I always end up with scraps of the coloured cards left, but you always trim like your 12x12 sheets down, and it's just nice to have a bit of a use for them. So what we're going to do with the next colour is we're going to rip and tear a line across this. It doesn't have to be accurate, and you can go as bumpy as you want. And the best thing with this kind of card is it's got like a paler coloured centre, so you can really see where the rip line is. So I'm just going to rip this along. And the best thing with this technique is that you can actually make two cards as you're going along as well. So I'll get some glue on this bit now. And we're going to place that into the darker red. And then we'll do the same with the orange layer. And the same with this, a bit of glue on the back. You can choose where to position it. I'm going to go this way with this one. then I've got this yellow layer now, so I'm just going to rip the top end of this one so it's not as low. How are you all doing out there anyways? Is it cold where you're living? And we're going to glue that one down. As you can see, there's nothing complicated about that up to now. Really bold colours that go down in graduation. And then I've got some blues now, and these are just little strips I've got. So I've got 3 shades. We'll start with the darkest one. I'm just going to pop that across. In fact, just 2 seconds. I forgot what I need to do at this stage. I need to cut the sun out, so my mistake that, shows you that. Let me just get my die cut plates. I'm glad I spotted that before I glued it down. So I've just got a jagged circle. We're going to quickly put that through the die cut. So Sarah says it's cold and rainy there. Yeah, it's not very nice weather. I can't wait for summer to come back when we can enjoy a little bit of the heat again. Nearly there. And there you go, I've just cut like a sun shape there. I'm just going to take the edge off the yellow card off using a little bit of this Distress Oxide Wild Honey. And it just softens the edge so it doesn't look as yellow. So we'll just use one of these brushes. The circular motions. That's the great thing with these brushes as well, you can't really press too hard. So you get a really nice graduation. There you go. So it's just taking the edge off that. So I'll move that out of the way now. Here we go, we'll bring this back in. And we're just gonna put this where we want the sunset to be. So I'm going to put it over at this side. There we go. I'm just going to get that dark blue. Just pop a bit more glue on this because it might have just dried as we've been waiting. And we're going to use this like the waterline now. So you can decide how high up you want this. But I think I'm going to go around there. Just make sure it's level. And then I've got a few other blues. And then the lightest one. Just because it's building up really nicely now. And then for the hills, what we're going to do with these is rather than go all the way across like we did with the skyline, we're actually going to do some like rounded shapes. Let's rip some of those though. Starting with the darkest again. Really nice, simple way of building a card up. And we're going to have that bit going off onto there. Look. And I've got a mid-green. Do the same again. Fine, let's put that one on. And then the lightest green, I'm going to rip this one all the way across the bottom. And don't forget, if you do rip your paper and then you decide you don't like the shape, you can always go back in and tear a little bit more out. This should complete this card then. Fine. Now granted, it does look a mess at the moment, but promise you, it'll come together really fast, this one. So I've just got some big scissors. And all I'm going to do now is just make sure that's grabbed as much as I can. I'm going to turn this over. I'm just going to go and trim down these sides now, so I can use the actual card as a guide. I'm just going to trim down these. Turn it around, and we'll do the same for the other side. It's a fabulous way using your scrap soap that you may have got anyway, so well worth doing. I'm just going to move them to one side out of the way. Look at that for a scene. You've got a lovely sunset, you've got the water graduating down, and you've got the hills in the front of this design. And then what I thought is you could leave it like that, but I actually think it needs kind of a black frame to actually make them colours pop a little bit more. So I'm just going to bring in my die cutting plates again. And for this I've got a piece of plain black. And I've got one of the large squares. Get that one cut out. So Elizabeth says, did that one side when I had no paper left? What did you do? Just try the other way, it's just spitting it out. Bright and cheery, yeah. I was quite impressed with it, and your basic core primary colours are colours that you always have left over when you're matting and layering and stamping, so it's quite a good way to use them up, really. So we'll just get that out. We'll cut the big square, and then I'm just going to use the next one down in the nesting set. Just put that into position. And I'll just get a little bit of masking tape, so I don't want this to slide, but I really want it to be an even square all the way around. If I can find the end of the masking tape. Alright, so Elizabeth tried to make a shape by ripping the paper, and there was nothing left. I bet you had some lovely colourful confetti though. There you go, so that can go onto there. And we'll just pop that through again. So Marilyn likes the addition of the sun. Yes, it just breaks it up. I think it'd be, if you weren't using dinosaurs, you could also put like a silhouette maybe of a boat there. It'd look quite nice. Just a nice way of getting a quick background. So just take that die off. So I've got the inner which I can save for another project, so we'll put that to one side. And I'll just take this tape off. And move that out of the way. So you could raise this up on sticky pads as well if you wanted to, but I actually find it works best when it's stuck flat down. So I'm going to put a slight bit of glue on this now. I'm not going to drown it because I don't want it to ruin what we've done on the other bit. Little dots all the way along should be enough. That to one side. Take a bit of that off so it doesn't squirt out. And because I'm using a perfectly square card, I know this is going to fit well. So I can put this down, centre that onto that bit. There you go. You can see already that's a really nice card, really, a backdrop, really vibrant. Because we've got those cute dinosaurs, what we're going to do now, I've got another bright scrap of pink paper that I found. We're going to use one of those, and we're just going to stamp one of our friendly dinosaurs onto there, so we can have a bit of a character in the corner. Let's use a stamping press. I'm going to do this in black as well, so that it actually picks out the black frame that we've done. Yeah, you're probably right on that, Tracy. If you keep putting the layers on, it would go bulkier. So you maybe want to not raise anything up too much. But you could also do it in paper though as well to take the weight out. But because my card's textured, I'm just going to have to give a good few presses onto this to make sure we get a nice clean image. Oops, there we go. That's fine. I'm going to move that out the way. I did try tearing the dinosaur, but he lost his head, I'll be honest with you. It didn't work, so we're going to use a die cut so it doesn't get decapitated. I'm going to place it onto there. Just get a little bit of washi tape. And we'll just quickly put that through the die cutter. You're not late, Sean, don't worry. We've got another card to demonstrate anyway, so you'll be able to catch up with that one. You can always watch this back on YouTube. It will be available if you want to go and recap it. Put that to one side. So all I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to quickly highlight some of these lines with a darker pink, and that will just actually give you some depth to the actual image, so it's not as flat really. So I will just use these areas here. I'm just going to pick out kind of the flow of where the body is anyway. It just breaks it up a little bit. There you go, I'm happy with that, so we'll keep that character up there. And then we're going to now do a sentiment. So, got another scrap of the green card. Let's bring my stamping press back in. We'll just pop that there in the centre. I had multicolour paper pad in those, but I gave them away. It is opposite to this lot down. Oh, you'll have to go and grab them back. Ask them for half. You only need scraps to do this, don't you? So maybe they'll be generous and give you some back. There we go. So all I'm going to do with this one, I'm just going to use my scissors to trim this down. I'm just going to follow the base of the actual sentiment. Get rid of that bit. And if you're not very good at like doing corners, what I tend to do is I just snip at an angle and then do the same at the opposite side. So it just kind of gives you a quirky kind of shape. And then we can use a little bit of the black that we had left over from the inside. We just move. And we'll just glue that straight on. Yep. Just let that grab a second. So Sandra says I make it look easy. I think it's just because you like to have a play around. I think we can all have a go, literally. And even if it looks different, it's still a card that you've made. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, does it? So I've just trimmed in this black, slightly bigger than the green now. So I've trimmed off them edges. I'm just going to follow the green line that we had already. I'm keeping with this black border theme, then it brings in the frame that we've done on the main card. There you go. So we've got a nice sentiment. We've got this pink dinosaur. And the last thing now is just to get these stuck onto the card. So I will use some foam tape for this to give a bit of height, but as I think it was Tracy said with the post, if you do think it's too thick, you could always just keep this flat. Let's have him on the hill looking into the sunset. And we'll have a sentiment down here. I'll just stand up for you. So as you can see, that's a really nice card, really bright, colourful, easy to do, using all them like little bits of paper that you've got left. You don't want to throw away because they cost too much money, and it pulls them together really well. So what we'll do now is we'll run some more inspiration while I get set up for the second demo, and then keep tuned to the end because I will talk to you about a Facebook Live that's going to be happening. So I will see you in a second while I set up. So I'm just going to cut some of these black circles out. We'll get one of those put through while we... I've got my mic on. Yeah. Have you got the sound? Can you all hear me now? Oh, brilliant. That's good. Them gremlins, they're back again. So yeah, so I just chose a round die basically. One that I've got that's got like kind of like a fancy edge to it. But for time, what I've done is I've already pre-cut these because they take a little bit of attention with the pokey tool to get all the bits out. So I'm going to just put a slight bit of glue on the base of these. I'm going to stick one at the top. One at this base bit. If you are putting 3 on as well, I always do the outer edge and then you can gauge where the other one's going to go in the middle so you don't make it look lopsided or it doesn't fit correctly. Just top tip there for you. Okay, so we've got as base cards starting to take form now. So what now I want to do is put some characters in the centre of these black circles. So all we're going to do for that is use some scraps of card again. So I've got blue and a green. And I'm just going to get the stamping press. So I've got a scrap in there. You don't need these bits to be this big. I just wanted to, I chose them for colour really. That's the blue one. I don't need its legs, so I'm not bothered about that bit being missing. So Sandra says loves the coloured lines and dots. Yeah, I like primary colours, me, and I like to make things clash. I think it gives a bit more detail to the card. And we've all got some lovely pattern papers out there, haven't we? So we might as well use them with the stamps that we've got. Let's pop this to one side. So I've just got a simple circle die now, which fits within the actual black aperture of the other card. So I'll make sure that that still goes to the detail. And all we're going to do now is pick where we want that to be centered. So we're going to have him there. And I'll put him through the die cut. So that's the first one. And I'm just going to go now and do the same with the blue one that we've got. So same again, I'm just going to centralise that to where I want that circle to cut. So I think that's a good position for him. I'll pop that through the die cut. And I've already got a yellow one that I've made earlier to save a bit of time for you all. And then we've got his blue one there, look. So we might as well assemble this bit while we're at this stage. So I'm just going to use some of the double-sided pads to raise these up. Now I'm going to stick them directly in the centre of those black circles that we've already done. The same with the green one. Put that little fella down here. And you could easily do this with like flowers maybe that you've got at home. Just choose 3 different sections. There we go, so I've got his 3 characters on. So let's leave that there for a second. And I've got a scrap of that spotty paper now. So I'm going to use the nice sentiment stamp on top of this spotty paper. Here we go. Nice firm push, make sure that picks it up. And I want this to be really black, so I might have to do this twice. Just that one more time. Just because it's textured, I want to make sure that ink gives as much impression as we can get. There you go, I'm happy with that. Move that to one side. I'm just going to use my trimmer on this one. Just want to make a nice neat edge. So I'll use this guide wire. Let's take them end bits off. Put that to one side. I've got another scrap of black that I've got, so I'm just going to stick this directly onto the black. Make sure that grabs. And I'll bring the trimmer back in. And we're going to trim this down now just to give it a little bit of a black border so it makes that sentiment pop right out. So using this guide wire on this trimmer. Around all 4 sides. Ooh. There we go. Make sure my glue doesn't slip, so I'll just move that trimmer out of the way. Put some foam pads on this. I'm going to put this in the top thing, the top corner. I can use the lines as well to make sure it's level. I'll just stand that up for you. That's the second card done. So really simple, using them circles to make that card imagery pop out. Just using some scraps of colours, again primary colours, and just simply stamped on. Really easy birthday card that I'm sure somebody would like to receive. So that's just 2 samples that we've done today. Let's leave them there a second. So what else do we need to go through? So just quickly recap. The winner from last week's competition was Bridget Head. So if you are on Bridget, just drop us a message on the AVAGO-INK page and we can get this sent out to you. So you get this lovely Dinosaur set of stamps, and it's got the dies in there as well. So well done to Bridget. So that's that one. We are going to be doing a Facebook Live as well, and that'll be tomorrow evening at 7:30. So I hope you can join me for that. And there will be some exciting new products coming. So I'm sure you'd like to join us for that. Can't tell you anymore. You have to tune in for that one. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. And then anytime we do get a show or any notifications, you'll be the first to know, and you'll not miss out on any of these projects and sessions that we're doing. Especially over lockdown, it's nice to have something to tune into every day, isn't it? And then I think what we'll do is we'll try and get that video to play again, and we'll leave with some inspiration for the dinosaur stamps, which I know so many of you have already got. And if you have got any cards that you've been making, just feel free to post them on. It's nice to share your ideas, and it might give somebody else some inspiration. So thank you for joining me today, and we'll play out with a video. But thank you very much. See you later, and we'll see you next Monday. Bye.